Hi, everyone. Welcome to Intro into Multiplication. So, before we start, what if I told you you already knew how to multiply? If you know how to count by fives, if you know how to count by twos, you're multiplying. So, let's count by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. You've just done multiplication. So in this intro into multiplication, I'm going to teach you what multiplication actually is. So I'm going to we'll start off with something simple, like 2 times 1 and 1 times 2. So we have 1 times 2, and you have 2 times 1. When we're multiplying, here's what's happening. We are saying this. We have one group of 2. So right here, I'm going to use a different color, and I'm going to draw my group, just a circle, right? And how many is in this circle? 2. Let's do 2 apples, right? 1 apple, 2 apples. We got to get our little stem going here. 1, 2, right? So what this is saying is that let's say I went apple picking, right? I had one basket, and in my one basket, I put 2 apples in there. So guess what 1 times 2 equals? Simple. 2. Now, let's look at 2 times 1. Same concept, right? Except this time I'm saying I have 2 groups of 1. So this time I go apple picking, and I have my 2 baskets. But in each basket this time, I'm only going to put 1 apple in each basket. So I have my 1 apple here. I have my 1 apple here. And then when I add up how many apples I have total, it's the same thing. It's 2. So 2 times 1 equals 2. So what we're doing is we're grouping our numbers together, right? Which you've probably learned when you count by fives or when you count objects by twos. Now, let's do one together. You can take out your dry erase marker this time. And we are going to do this one together. This time, let's do 3 times 6. What? So you're going to write 3 times 6. All right. We'll do 3 times 6 first, and then we'll switch it around and do 6 times 3. So remember what I told you. Let's act like again we're going apple picking, right? What this is saying is that I have how many baskets? I have 3 baskets. 1 basket, 2 baskets, and 3 baskets. And when I went apple picking this time, though, how many apples am I going to put in each basket? I'm going to put 6 apples in each basket. All right, so let's go ahead and draw 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. And you can do this on your whiteboard as well. So follow with me. Let's do it all together. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. right? All right, I can add my stems too. But this time when I add my stems, I'm going to count how many apples I have total, okay? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's how many I have total. I have 18 apples total, so 3 times 6 equals 18. Now, another way that we could do this as well is that if you notice, all we're doing is just adding 6, really. We're adding 6 3 times. So I could go 6 plus 6 plus 6. So if you can do it in your head, we know that 6 and 6 is a double. So we know automatically that's 12 plus 6 more would be 18. Or if you still need to use your fingers, which is fine, we can go count up from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we can count up, keep going. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So either way, that's how I can figure out that 3 times 6 equals 18. The goal with multiplication now is to hopefully memorize all of your facts. So that is what you're going to be learning how to do with your binder, is that you're going to be learning how to multiply at a faster rate, because this is going to help you when you do other things in third grade in the future. This skill is an important skill to get. So this make sure that you practice every day with your flashcards. I even put flashcards in there so that way you can also create flashcards to help you memorize your multiplication facts. If you know how to add, then multiplying, it's not that hard. It's just an easier way to add. So instead of us saying, oh, let's just do 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, let's just say 3 times 6, 18. Super simple. All right. And then if you wanted to do, if we can erase this, right? So we can see how this works. If you are familiar with fact families, when you multiply, multiplication also too has fact families. So we know that 3 times 6 equals 18. Then guess what? I know that 6 times 3 equals 18. And I will show you another way too when we do division. You don't have to worry about division now, but later on in the month, you will be doing some division. So when we look at division, division will start. So, we have our two parts and then we have our whole. Same thing here. We have our two parts, right? We have this time we're having 6 groups of 3. So instead of me having 3 baskets with 6 apples, now I have 6 baskets with just 3 apples in them. So now I'm adding 3 6 times, which if you're good at counting by threes, watch this. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, right? Because I've added 3, counting by threes, 6 times. So now let's look at this. When we do division, we still can have our fact family, right? We have 18 divided by 3 gives me 6. And we have 18. Remember, 18 is our whole, right? Divided by 6 equals 3. That equals my next part. Okie dokie. All right. So with division, it's basically like this. I started off with 18 apples total, right? And they're in groups of 3, okay? So what ends up happening is I'm taking 3 of those groups away. So if I take 3 groups, I'm sorry, if I take 3 groups of 6 away, of 3 groups away from the 18, I'm going to have 6 left, okay? Same concept here for the bottom one. All right, so that was your intro into multiplication. I think today you're going to be starting with your multiplication chart. So you can head over to the next video to watch how to fill that out. All right, happy multiplying. Bye.